story that we actually have been covering here on BBC Radio Surrey. The closure of Lynchford Road is westbound at North Camp in Farnborough. I know this because I've been on the diversion bit. But anyway, it's part of work to install a bike lane, and it's been ongoing since last October and was originally due to take 52 weeks. The deadline has since been extended to 70 weeks, with the new completion now predicted for the end of February next year. Local businesses have already told us that the impact it's had on their trade. And last month, Rushmore Borough Council brought in measures to try and bring some relief to business owners, including a video showing local traders promoting the area, which was posted on Facebook.
North Camp is open.
North Camp is open.
North Camp is open. North Camp is open.
North Camp is very much open. North Camp is all about community, the spirit. It's a fantastic place to work. Everyone helps each other. You know, everyone's concerned about the businesses, and you know, it's a really good. It's really good to be part of like an old-fashioned village community atmosphere.
Well, the Federation of Small Businesses in Hampshire concerned about the overrunning works. Nicky Kildunne is their development manager. Morning to you, Nicky.
Good morning.
Now, 70 weeks sounds like quite a long time, but update us on what the current situation with these ongoing roadworks are.
Yeah, 70 weeks is a huge amount of time. If you can imagine, you know, these businesses' footfall has been absolutely decimated. 52 weeks was the original plan, and that's a long time to, you know, have such severe disruption going on outside your business. But 70 weeks is really difficult. These businesses are contending with all the issues that other small businesses have got at the moment. You know, you've got rising costs, you've got all of your raw materials and things. So, for example, you know, if you're a takeaway, all of your food costs have gone up dramatically. Energy costs are really high. Costs overall are really high at the moment. And so they, you know, businesses really need to be able to trade as much as they can right now as things stand, even in the best of circumstances. But you know, you put something like this alongside and, you know, footfall is so severely affected, customers just can't get through. So these businesses are really experiencing hardship at the moment.
And how did you get involved, Nicky?
Well, a local member contacted me, which is what tends to happen with us. We do ask our members to let us know if there's an issue, you know, that's affecting them locally. So a member contacted us, and I was, you know, shocked really to hear what was going on, and it just can't be, you know, it can't be acceptable that, you know, this severe disruption is just, you know, nobody's working with these businesses to help them.
Right, and what's gone wrong with it? Why is it taking so long? What do you think?
Well, I think first of all, the management of the Roadworks programme needs to be brought back in line with the terms that were agreed with the business owners when they went through the consultation. You know, the business owners initially felt that they were listened to by Hampshire County Council, and that, you know, their needs would be taken into consideration, and terms were agreed, which everybody was, you know, satisfied with. I wouldn't say happy, because, you know, nobody wants this sort of thing to happen, because it's always going to affect, you know, trade. But, you know, the community accepts that, you know, this project needs to happen. But what we really need is, you know, the council to come back on board with the terms that were agreed and work within the timescales.
Well, Nicky, good talking to you. I'm going to bring in somebody who's been affected by this, clearly. Mark Sullivan from the Big Fry Fish and Chips base. Just even mentioning fish and chips now. What I could do with them right now. Morning to you, Mark.
Morning, James.
Right. Have the roadworks affected your business?
Oh, massively. Absolutely massively. Obviously, we expected a bit of disruption, and a part of the consultation, you know, that we all agreed to and we thought was going to happen. We knew that there would be some losses. But of course, because they've not following their consultation and they've done the job in a totally different way, the losses have been far greater than anyone could have assumed would happen.
How much are you down by?
Well, we are down, on last year's figures, we're down at present £82,000. But that's just against last year. Obviously, we would have expected a slight increase on those figures. But I mean, the baseline is £82,000 down.
You mentioned the consultation there, Mark. What did you think would happen that you thought, okay, we can work with that, and what has happened in practical?
So basically, Hampshire County Council were superb at the beginning. They invited us to the consultation. They invited our views. We had plenty of on-site meetings. Rob Humby, who's now leader, was in charge of the project at that point. I actually did a FaceTime presentation at the decision meeting that they had about the project. And they promised us, certain things like they said the job would be done in phases. There would be 75% of our current parking available at all times during the project. And it's all there in the consultation. I've got it in front of me. It's still on their website. Last meeting we had with Rob Humby was the 11th of February 2022. And, I said to him at that point, he made some further changes to the parking because they were taking too much of our parking. And I said to him, thank you very much, for listening to us. I think we've got the best of a bad job at the moment. So thank you very much. But between that meeting and the contractors meeting, everything changed. The project's the same, but the way they were going about it completely changed. So they just did the whole job in one go.
How do you feel about that?
What? Let down, misled. We should have been told it was all changing. I mean, literally, that meeting was a few days before it started. So it was like we were in shock, because any businesses rely on parking. So we were expecting, I was expecting 17 to 18 parking spaces. We actually ended up with 10. But actually, we then found out that actually when they signed the contracts, they signed all the parking away originally. So my point is, if you look at the consultation, it was very pro-business. But what they've actually come up with is anti-business. They've really let us down.
But how are you coping at the moment? What are you doing to try and bring people in and let you know, hey, we're still, here, still working?
The problem for us is the parking they've supplied is down the other end of the road. So we've got no drop-off parking. If you go past our business, you've gone past it. And to get back round to our business is a very long diversion. So once you've gone past us, and not just, I'm not talking about my business, but I'm talking about all the businesses in Lynchwood Road, people are not going to come back. So we are surviving on vastly reduced trades, but with our loyal customers. But, you can't survive on that. I mean, the losses are just so great. And it's all relative to every single business that, and I actually believe that as they progress with this job, it's actually going to get worse. So, I'm dreading. And you're saying, how am I coping with this? Well, I'm no longer taking any wages or business or salary out of the business. I'm old enough to start taking my pension. So that's what I've decided to do because, the business needs as much support as possible and Hampshire are just not interested.
What needs to be done to help you survive?
Well, obviously, Rushmore have been brilliant. All the local councillors have been brilliant. Leo Dockett, our local MP, has been involved in this. But in the end, Nicky has been absolutely superb in a very short space of time. We need some sort of compensation. I'm not asking, we're not asking to cover all our losses, but we need, if people are no longer being able to take wages out of it, they're working for nothing. Is this an acceptable situation in the UK in this day and age where people have worked all their lives to build up a business in a community and they have it wiped out? Essentially, all we're gaining is a psychopath.
What are your customers saying to you?
Well, it's difficult because, the loyal customers come. They find a way. They can park around the back of our shop if they want. They know. But everyone, the whole community are absolutely disgusted with what's going on. And it's a real problem. And Hampshire are just blocking. They're not interested in really. I mean, we've had 2 meetings, and their attitude in those meetings have been very poor.
Well, look, good talking to you. Let's just give a plug for exactly where you are, so that the people maybe hearing this just think we need to support this local business. And by the way, but I'll just mention for the celiacs in the room, Peter, who's doing the news, Monday and Tuesday gluten-free.
That's correct. Yeah. We do our best. We can only do it 2 days a week because obviously it's a very difficult thing to do. But yes, we're on 179 Lynchford Road. But I also urge everyone to support all the local businesses in North Camp because they're all worthy and they don't deserve what's going on.
Good talking to you, Mark. Let's stay in touch, mate.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Right. Lots to talk about there. We did contact Jackson Civil Engineering, company undertaking the roadworks, to discuss why the original timescales have not been met. They declined to comment, referred us to Hampshire County Council, and they've given us a lengthy statement. I'll give you just some of it. And the lead member for Universal Services, Councillor Nick Adams-King, told us that this is a £13 million improvement scheme in North Camp, which will help reduce congestion in the area and deliver better facilities for cyclists and pedestrians. The aim is to support the economic growth. We do appreciate whilst construction is underway, there has been disruption. We have a package of measures in place to support local businesses, including a free parking scheme for shoppers and a promotional campaign to remind people that the shops remain open. Businesses in North Camp can also access free specialist support from the Enterprise M3 Local Enterprise Partnership Growth Hub. The contract is for 70 weeks with the planned completion of February 2024. Hampshire County Council and Jackson Civil Engineering are working together on a series of measures, for example, Saturday working to bring the completion date forward and reduce traffic management as early as possible. We apologise if this was not clearly communicated at the outset. And lastly, we have been engaging with the businesses and residents throughout the project, including a series of in-person business engagement events and regular newsletters providing updates on the works. I would argue that if you're a business, you probably only have to look at your bottom line to tell you how that's going.